Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the personal months for April 2023. We're also going to take a look at the forecast for the new moon and the full moon for April, which also includes a solar eclipse at the end of the month. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you in advance for commenting, liking, and sharing to help my little channel to grow and to help spread the word about numerology. I see you. I appreciate you. You all are the best. This, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personal reading where we'll take a deep dive into your own personal numerology, go ahead and book some time with me. You can find my information in the link below. Okay, so April 2023 is a 11-2 universal cycle. So the universal cycle affects all of us. We will feel that in some way. I'm going to break it down to the personal month forecast in just a moment, but let's take a quick look at the influences of the universal cycle so that we can understand how these all play together. The 11 energy here can bring additional challenges. So we have an eclipse again at the end of the month, but these challenges are always assisting us in moving towards bigger, more beautiful triumphs that leave us feeling inspired and hopefully doing more of what inspires us rather than leaving us feeling uninspired for too long. That's the goal anyway, right? Of 11 energy. So whenever you are experiencing self-sabotage, expect the 11 to put the pressure there. Okay, especially this month. The energy of the 2 brings the opportunity for healing, balance, reconciliation, mediation, seeing others' perspectives with an open mind and an open heart, and finding it easier to see eye to eye. Past relationships could resurface to be healed, especially I would say towards the end of the month, energetically or in the physical. So it doesn't mean that you have to bring this person back into your life in the physical. You can do a lot of this work energetically so that you're releasing those lower vibrations, right? Anything that you're sort of holding on to, burdens, grudges, judgments, whatever. This energy of the 2 helps to alleviate that. We have to do the work, but it gives us the opportunity or helps to highlight where it is that we can put that focus. New relationships and soul contracts can come rushing in this month, so be open to who you meet. Don't, discredit someone or dismiss someone too quickly. Emotions and emotional maturity will also be highlighted. Pay attention to when and why you're reaching some kind of trigger point, right? Or you're reacting versus responding to someone or something. Those triggers are guideposts to be sure that you'll investigate them further, right? Or asking you to investigate them further. This could be a month where a lot of decisions need to be made, a lot of big decisions. So trusting yourself to make those decisions as well as to move through any consequences, good or uncomfortable, of those decisions, right? That stem from those decisions. Being overly critical of yourself or others serves no one. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and break it down by each personal month now. Personal month 7. If you are currently in a personal month 7 for the month of April, then this month can bring in the need for some self-reflection, for sort of diving deeper into your own psyche, the workings of your mind, your emotions, your spirituality, holistic health, how you feel, how you truly feel, body, mind, spirit. Where is there the disconnect? Where is there imbalance? What feels good? What continue to build upon? What feels out of balance that maybe needs your attention? This month you could feel not so much like wanting to go out, wanting to sort of mingle. This can be a month for, again, more solitude, more self-reflection, more taking time to really spend with yourself, right? And really digging deeper into your own triggers, especially with this overarching energy of the 11-2, right? Because emotions are going to come into play this month universally. And so for you all, there could be some triggers that come up for you that really this 7 energy is really encouraging you to sit with, to go deeper with. Often when we're in a 7 cycle, it can bring up a lot of things with the mind, right? Like a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, a lot of potentially judgments, that sort of thing. So we have to figure out what's real, what's not for us, right? Like what do we want to grab onto? What do we want to release? What do we actually want to focus our energy on? And getting really to the truth of ourselves, right? Now that's a lot, right? So it's not necessarily going to happen in, a month, but it could definitely spark that internal dialogue, that inner connection where you just sort of see things a little bit more clearly when it comes to what it is that you want for the direction of your life, right? Now, this also will bring up the energy of or the need for trust. This is such a big one with 7 energy. And, it can mean, trusting others and being vulnerable and, putting yourself out there even after you've been burned type thing, and letting people show you who they are as opposed to immediately classifying them as X, Y, or Z. But really with 7 energy, this is so much about trusting self and trusting the unseen, because there's so much that's bigger than us that we can't explain away with logic. So we have to have some level of faith or trust in it. Trust that things are working in our favor, even when they don't appear to be within the physical, right? Sometimes we just can't logically explain away something with knowledge. So it's really sort of leaning into that energy when you're in a 7 cycle, as well as trusting self. So trusting yourself when you feel something about someone or something, whether it's good vibes, bad vibes, whatever, trusting yourself in making decisions. This is also a very decisive or need to be decisive month with the overarching energy of the 11-2, remember. So it's very possible that some big decisions may need to come in for you to make this month. And the 7 is going to ask you to trust yourself. Don't second guess. Don't be overly critical of yourself. Trust what you're feeling in that moment, that it's right for you in that moment. And if it changes, you can shift. You can change gears. You can adjust, right? So take some of that pressure off. And the 7 is going to help you to do that. Also, this can be a very psychic time. This can be a very intuitive period. So pay attention to your dreams. Big dreams can be really big during a 7 cycle. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to sort of those deep feelings that you get. Pay attention to what's going on with your solar plexus, where, what pings there, what do you feel drawn towards? What ignites that energy? This is a time to just really pay attention to your higher consciousness and your inner compass, right? That heart center, that inner knowing energy. Let's see. And this is also a great time to bring things into the tangible. So take those big ideas and turn them into something. Make them something real and trust yourself in that process. Now, again, it's a quick cycle. So, this is a lot, right? So, however it comes in for you is how it's meant to. And what you do with that energy is what's going to ultimately make the difference. Now, on the 6th of April, we have a full moon. And for you all, this is focusing the energy on the 15-6. This is significant because there is sort of this push-pull energy here. We have the energy of the 5 in the, for the 15, and then the energy of the 6. 5 energy and 1 energy, right? 15. It's really putting the focus on independence, freedom, the need for expression, the need for freedom of expression, the need for doing what you want and enjoying life and letting your hair down and just feeling free, right? Just, putting your head out the window while you're driving and let the wind blow in your hair or whatever, and the breeze blow through your hair. Just feeling very free, right? But then you have this 6 energy, which can bring in this need for caring for others, nurturing others, being there for others, being a little bit more selfless. And so sort of taking on responsibilities that maybe you you don't want to take on, but that you know that you need to take on, right? You might not want to take them on because it might infringe on that need for freedom type thing. But then the 6 is coming in and being like, okay, but your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your best friend, whatever, really needs your support right now. You're able to give it to them is the only reason why you're saying no, because it's infringing on what you want to do this weekend type thing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like finding that healthy balance. And that's the key, finding that healthy balance. So if you are in either energy to the extreme, this full moon is going to ask you to find the healthy center, right? So if you are someone who is heavy into 6 energy, and you're over giving and over nurturing and over, burdening yourself with other people's needs, then this 15 energy is going to be like, okay, we need to shift here a little bit and get you back to center, because you can't neglect yourself for others, because then it's not serving anybody. Or vice versa, if you're too in that more independent, free energy and neglecting your responsibilities when it comes to family and loved ones and nurturing others and caring for others and showing up for others, then the 6 energy is going to be a little bit stronger, and it's going to be like, hey, you need to find your center here, right? And show up for others in the way that you would want them to show up for you when you're in a situation that you would need that support, right? So interesting energies for this full moon, but it's going to shine a light on this pretty strongly. And so whatever sort of shows up for you, pay attention to it, because it's where you need to make some adjustments, right? Again, just to sort of move back to center. Now, on the 20th, we have a new moon, and this new moon is also a solar eclipse. So it's like super intensified. Whatever sort of is initiated at this time is started under this eclipse will sort of play out progressively over the next, say, 3 to 6 months. So it'll be like a storyline, right? And so you won't necessarily see all of the moving parts on the 20th, but you'll get a good idea of what you're working with. So for you all, what's beautiful about this is it's 11-2 energy. And so that's the same energy that we're working with collectively for the month of April. So if you did not listen to the intro, have a listen or re-listen, because that's all very, very relevant for you around this new moon eclipse, especially because it's happening at an eclipse. So it's going to be a storyline. And for you, it's going to be around inspiration. It's going to be around what inspires you, using the energy of the 7 and the 11-2 to be like, okay, what inspires me? What takes my inspiration away? What am I saying yes to that I really need to be saying no to, or shifting gears, and vice versa? But it's really going to bring the focus to how you're expressing yourself, and how does that feel for you, and what lights you up, and where are you putting your energy? Are you putting it more to the things that suck your energy, or are you putting it more towards the things that, again, ignite your spirit? Those are the things you want to sort of harness and focus on. Also relating to others, decisions I think for you all could come in very, very strongly this month and over the course of the next 3 to 6 months because of the eclipse. Asking you to be very decisive, right? To take advice if you want to, or take, wisdom and knowledge from others, but be very discerning in what you latch onto, what you adhere to, right? And what you take to work with. Because ultimately, with the 7 energy and the 11-2, you're really being asked to trust yourself in making these decisions. Because you're going to be the one that has to move through the consequences, right? Good or uncomfortable. So you might as well be the one who's taking responsibility for those decisions. So often people will ask for advice, get that advice, take it, right? Do something with it. And then things not work out the way that they wanted them to. And then quickly go back to that person and be like, you told me to do blah, 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 blah. Like totally missing the point where we decided to do the action, right? Regardless of where the advice came from. So the 11 to the 7 is really just pushing us towards that accountability where it's like, okay, you're going to be the one facing the consequences. It doesn't matter who told you what to do. So what do you want to do with this, right? So very decisive energy coming through this month and over the next 6 months. Also, how we relate, how we show up to relationships and how we relate to others. And are we being the observer or are we too emotionally attached or involved in the situation? So what is your perspective type thing? So a lot kind of coming in. I would say definitely re-listen to, or if you didn't listen to it, listen to the intro, because this eclipse is going to be really focusing this 11-2 energy for you over the next 3 to 6 months. So I hope it is a beautiful month for you all. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.